Hey, what's up guys? Today's video, we're gonna be converting our truck, this 1999 Dodge Dakota RT, to electric fans. So we're gonna be removing the clutch fan, the mechanical fan that's on it, and I'll show you guys what we're doing to convert it to electrical fans on a budget in this video. So we're gonna be testing that out, see if we can do it on a budget. If it doesn't end up working, we're gonna try a completely different setup. But this video is gonna be converting to electric fans on a budget. So let's get right into it. All right, so we're starting off with a clean slate, ready to convert this thing to electric fans. Our mechanical fan we just took off. Our fan shroud is over here. So we have a completely separate video showing exactly what tools you need to do to get this thing off easy without a whole lot of frustration. Here's our mechanical fan, our clutch fan sitting here on the floor. Let me show you guys what we're gonna be using and what we're gonna be putting on. Okay, so here's the fan that we got. I'll link everything in the description so you guys can check it out. This is a 16-inch fan, a cleaned 3000 CFM. We don't know if it moves that, but we will sure enough find out. Jonathan over here has serious doubts.
I doubt it, I don't know.
But we'll see. Like I said, a claimed 3000 CFM, whether it flows that or not, we will find out. But right now we don't have any cooling issues, so this will be a true testament. The truck's not overheating, it's running very cool, it has a different thermostat in it, so if this keeps the temperatures cool, we know it's doing its job. And to control all this, we bought a Hayden controller. So that's the number, but like I said, I'll link it in the description below for you guys. So this was the easiest kit that I found. A lot of different ones want you to sit there and try to tap into the coolant hose, but I didn't really want to do all that. So this one here has everything, and see this long probe here? So this, you actually slide it in and through the rad, and it's supposed to pick up the temperature of the rad from that probe. So you'll kind of just slide it through and it'll do its thing. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Hopefully it all works. It's got the relay, it's got your fuses for a 2-speed fan, all that good stuff is in there. So let's get to it. So we're just sorting out our wiring. I'm gonna mount that relay up on one of those holes on the fender. I think that'll be the easiest. It's close to the fuse box, close to our power sources and all that. So I'm gonna mount that and we'll start sorting out our wires. So we got our relay mounted. It's all looking good. We had to run to the store to just get some different ends and connectors. What I'm gonna do right now is when we mount the fan, we have to pass through the mounting straps. So I'm just gonna remove these 2 bolts. They look like a 10 mil and they are. So I'm hoping that we can get our hand in behind the AC condenser so that we can put the straps through, because we're gonna have to tighten this fan. There's like these little things, I'll show you in just a second, that go through the radiator, and then you tighten them from the back. Let me loosen these, we'll see what's up. Quick disclaimer, do not try this at home. This is all Jonathan's idea. He already signed a waiver before this. Idea. We're gonna test the fan and see if it actually blows. If it blows 3000 CFM, it'll blow John's hat off his head. Let's try it.
Chill. It works. That's it. It's blowing the air out. Let's see towards you.
Bro, I think it works. Why are you saying chill?
Because it's fast.
You said this is gonna be a cheap ass fan.
That's a lot. Wow, that moves.
So we're gonna mount the fan to the rad. This is the hardware they give you. It's just like, kind of like almost like a zip tie. You pass it through and then you put these little backing plates on there and you clip it through. So it's gonna go straight through the rad, and then you're gonna just cut off the excess. These little 90-degree tabs, they go on the fan, and then that's where we pass through our mount. Here's the setup. You put a spring on here. It's gonna pass through your mount. Then you're gonna put a little pad on it just so that the fan doesn't kind of buff on the actual rad. And then once you get through the rad, this is gonna go on the back side and we'll tighten it up. What do you think? See if I can reach it, first of all. All right, so we managed to get our little ties in there, all 4 of them. Got our little springy things. Fan is in there, she looks solid. And our wires are ready to go. So we can continue all our wiring stuff. We also have to put this probe in, which John has, and apparently you break it off wherever you need. So we're gonna be inserting it up here. So we'll probably break it off at one of those. I'm guessing the second one. And then there's a little retaining clip that holds it as well. All right, so here's our probe. We inserted it there so we can pull it back out and break it off at that point. We unscrewed this, so just so you guys know this unscrews. I would recommend unscrewing it so that you don't snap that thing off, because I've heard some people snap this off and render the whole thing useless. So we're gonna remove that, and then this is the little clip that holds that in. So we're gonna have to stick our hand in there one last time and put that clip on there. Just so you guys know, trying to stick your arm through here to get at these was a nightmare, but we managed to do it. We got some battle wounds, but we made it happen. You got nothing. Quit being a baby. So we're gonna cut it here, because like Jonathan pointed out, it needs to clip onto that. So let's see how hard this is. Whoa! No way. I don't want to break in the wrong place. Squeeze. Oh shit! There goes my headlight.
That was a bullet. What does it look like on the inside?
China metal.
Just solid.
Something like that.
Perfect. All right, put it in. Drop the sensor.
There, I got it.
Oh, he got it. Look at him.
Oh, skills. It's so hard to get your hands in here. That's it. Okay guys, so we're just finalizing the wiring, so I'll explain everything to you. It's not complicated, but there is some components to it. So we have our little temperature sensor here. So that's a little probe, and what happens is this yellow wire has to be coming from a switched ignition source. So we tapped into this wire whenever you turn the key on. This wire activates this yellow wire, which brings power into our little thermal probe. Once the thermal probe gets up to temperature, I think it's 180 or so, then it connects through, the power comes back through the brown, goes over into our relay to click it on. As far as the fan itself, we've got the two wires clipped in there. So what happens is our power comes through the relay. So it has a heavier gauge wire coming directly off fused power. So it's fused here. Also, it has its own separate fuse, so we're protected that way in case this thing decides to go crazy. But it has a heavy gauge, it goes into the relay there. And then once that trigger, like I just showed you, kicks on, then this orange wire, it kind of looks yellow, but orange wire sends power to our fan, and then the other wire coming from here just goes to ground. So that's kind of the short of what everything is. So we've tested it, we just bypassed this to make sure it comes on. This thing blows a ton of air. So you can feel it sucking through the front. I know Jonathan was a skeptic, but what do you think? You think it's all right now?
I think it's gonna keep the car cool, definitely.
So there's that, and then there is one more thing. We're gonna clean up this little jungle of spaghetti once we verify everything works. We're gonna kind of put some, I have some wire loom and some zip ties as well. Okay, so we just spent a few extra minutes just putting wire loom on everything just to clean everything up. So we got loom on everything there. Everything's set, all we have to do is just test it. We're gonna go ahead and put our fuse box lid back in place, and that's pretty much it. So we'll start it up, make sure C turns on, and then we hopefully should be all set. Kicked on just yet, but it sounds way better and there's way more room now. All right, so it's working, running. You can definitely feel it, and you can feel it sucking from the front. So one thing is, when we were starting it, you would assume that they would put the fuses in and fully seat them, but one of our fuses actually wasn't fully seated, and there's two fuses, one there and one there, because there's one that leads to the fan and then one before the relay. And both of them weren't seated. So if you guys end up using this kit, make sure you click the fuses all the way down. But it's cooling right now, and I'll show you the temperature in just a second. So we did end up switching our switched ignition power to a fuse from under the dash there. So because I had before tapped into one of these wires that we kind of used as a test light or meter to find switched ignition power, a lot of those are running to different sensors on the engine, and it can kind of do some weird stuff. So the wire we ended up tapping it into, coincidentally, was somehow in line with the AC compressor. And if you turned on the AC on or off in the vehicle, even though it had switched power, the voltage would change and it would affect the cooling fan. So what we did instead was we just went to in here. I got one of these fuse taps off a true switched ignition power. This is just off the cigarette lighter. It's one of these fuse taps. I'll link in the description below. You can grab one, you remove the fuse, put this in, it holds 2 fuses, so you still have a fused power. So this is running to our switched ignition on our relay. Now we shouldn't have any issues or anything interfering with anything. Just to make this even better, I did find which wire goes to the AC or is controlled by the AC or vice versa. So if you look over here, there's a blue with a black which runs to the clutch. And if you look over here, we've got a blue with a black, and when I stick the probe for the meter in it, we got no volts here. If I run over and I turn the AC on, so let's turn it to max AC. Then we've got voltage. So that means if we connect that trigger wire that we have down there to this wire here, then we can have the fan activate when you turn the AC on. All right, so that's gonna do it for today's video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. If you did like it, make sure you give it a thumbs up for me. Also, if you're stopping in for the first time, check out the other videos on the channel, and we also have lots of videos to come. So make sure you hit that subscribe button because we got a lot on the way. As far as the actual trigger wire for the AC, I did want to mention that I need to still go pick up a diode. So what a diode does is it restricts the power in one direction. So that way we're not backfeeding power into the actual wiring system of the truck. So it's kind of like a one-way filter. So I need to pick up a diode before I can connect that wire. It's not included in the kit. Otherwise it would be doing some funky stuff when that little probe would detect or like get up to a certain temperature and it would click on. It would end up backfeeding into my AC and probably turning on the AC and all that stuff. So some weird stuff would happen if I don't get that diode on there, but I'll show you guys that in another video. I just wanted to get the install video out to you guys first. I also have to, of course, run through some testing on this to see how it does. So I'll keep you guys up to date on all that stuff as always. But after we get a bunch of testing done, I'll definitely keep you guys posted on how this little cheap system is working. Everything that we used in this video is going to be in the links in the description below. How we also got the mechanical fan off is also a separate video that I wanted to keep separate. So check out that video. Again, link in the description. So anyways, you guys, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.